Okay, so here we've got the kind of water flow here. I actually tied these in a knot for fun, just to see what would happen. These darker roots are from the original clone. And then we just got these beautiful coming out. These are a little bit yellowed. I'm not sure why. A lot of them were originally black or kind of brown because they were in the dirt, and they didn't do so hot for a while. Then I sprayed them down with the hose, like took them out, sprayed down, because I noticed there were some white roots coming in over the dark ones, and it looked so like high quality and nice. And now they started going a little bit brown, and I'm not sure why that is. You can see things like this, where we have some of the damaged leaves. These are some of the original leaves. And then I think here we have some of the more healthy leaves. This is the same kind of thing. We've got some of these kind of damaged looking and some of these looking like bright green and beautiful. And yeah, these are I got these directly from the dirt and washed these off and then add them to my hydro system. I didn't really care originally about the quality of them because I thought, this is just a test round for some of these more rare strawberries here and there. So you can see these were started off in a phagoponic system, and you can see the black roots originally, kind of the dormant roots, and then the new roots here. I've got this 8-port manifold. These little guys, you can adjust the flow. I just have them on max because the limitation seems to be the actual pressure that I can output. I realized I can just straight up clone tomato plants, and they can just kind of live kind of like in these little areas right here. Just going back there. Oh, and this one here, and this one hasn't cloned yet. Yeah, and then what else do we got? I also cloned a little basil directly in here. Didn't look so hot for a while. And actually now again we were getting these brown roots, even though originally these were beautiful white roots. I'm thinking maybe this is because low oxygen or something. Maybe the concentration was too high, I'm not sure. But yeah, then we have these, beautiful, and this is so dense. I mean, it's literally sitting on the root ball itself. So this is, you can't really necessarily understand in the video, but you can see how relatively rigid that is. These are also originally from dirt, but they're pretty big here. And when I set this down, be careful not to cut off the edges. You can see that the space here, there's a space here. Space right here because it's literally sitting on the root ball. What else? And then we've got, just had these lying around, so I figured why not. These have got a nice white roots to them. Let's see if the ones up here are whiter roots. See if there's a correlation between being up high and having wider roots. Woof, that one's flying now. Doesn't seem like it. These I got as just dormant plants. They're not going to live long term in here. Long term, we got some cocoa core and some perlite. And I'm just kind of mixing this for now. I probably need more perlite on a pretty aerated system, but yeah, those are going to go into this, and my plan is to have it also cycle. So I'll have to elevate it, have it cycle. Maybe it'll sit on top of that, but if it does, then I won't get any light from the back end. I'll only have the front end. So ideally it would be like out front here, elevated, and then we'd find a way to get it down there. And then here are some of the my tester from Amazon, my scale for weighing out nutrients. I got these little pork taps from a restaurant store around here. These cubes are too big. These are 2-inch cubes, and I'm using 2-inch net pots, but you need like 1-inch cubes if you're using 2-inch net pots. And yeah, some more nutrients here. This is the actual pump I was using, or I am using. It's relatively cheap. Amazon, and then we've got some pH up and down, some hydroponic, or some hydrogen peroxide for potentially cleaning things out, and then we've got isopropyl alcohol for like cuttings and everything for cleaning to prevent infection. Let's see here. I've got a couple of these valves. I'm not using these for my system at all. I think I have some these mini valves for the other lines, but here we have one of my original designs, but I was basically just getting little leaking right at the right here. So just wanted to use the manifold as a better choice there. And then I also have like little valves that plug directly into this 1/4 inch line, which I'm not certain I'll do this yet, but the idea here is that this will, we'll be able to put those like here, and just have like little drip valves and just kind of have that regulated, and it'll still flow back into that, but only as like an overflow option. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much it. I'm just making sure this is fully expanded, this cocoa core. I have limited area I can do that. Oh, and then I guess I didn't show you these. These are for the nutrients, master blend, and we have nitrate, and then we have the other one here. But basically this allows me to measure in grams, about a gram a liter. So I get a concentration, I get the fill up my reservoir, and it allows me to relatively easy top it off. So actually the other day, this actually, and you can see this is dripping here, this actually fell out. I made some adjustments and it fell out, so this isn't a perfect system here, and it fell out, so all my tank was empty this morning. I had to quickly refill it, and having those concentrations made up was really nice. Kind of looking here, you can kind of see a little bit of what I'm working with here. So this is not ideal, because here you can see that it's going to be water is going to be sitting here. Eventually I'm going to fix that, but I'm not really worrying about it now. But yeah, these are basically just like L's, elbows, and then just make these big L's for each one of these. They're rigid. The fact that they're rigid is annoying, because then you get like leakage if there's a little tension on them and all that stuff. So, but you kind of gotta have to do that because it's staggered. They can't all fall into the one line. Here we have like a little leftover piece of tarp I had. and then a little like stand. The stand is for airflow to kind of go underneath, and sun hits that, and prevents the reservoirs from heating up as much. Okay, and then we're pretty full here, but basically we have the outlet there, the pump is down there, and it's just I've got some grommets in there, and even have a grommet in a tube for the cord. Okay. Here are some of my different plants here. I need to transfer these. These are getting way too big, and it's too hot, so like they're not getting any roots at the bottom. But I'm actually taking a little bit of after they've sprouted and everything, taking some nutrients from the system, filling it up here, and just pouring it, bottom feeding it. So that way these still are they're still eating, they're still getting nutrients. This one looks like it's getting a little actions from some bugs. Yeah. And then one other thing I noticed is that I would eventually get a pretty decent flow here for my purposes. We've got I measured at one point, I can't remember what it is, but yeah, pretty decent flow. And I realized that eventually I got some pretty bad flow. So as I was trying to diagnose what that bad flow was causing it, I assumed it was something blocking the filter or something like that, or the pump itself. I don't even have a filter on it yet. Again, it's on the to-do list. I was debugging it, and then I started up the pump again, and the flow looked great. It looked like this, or maybe even a little better. And then I realized that allowing this to backfill or backflow, and then recycle back up, cleared any of the debris, so I could do that. And I have this old timer I got for making hydroponics I never got to use many years ago, but you can buy them at eBay, and some guy takes out the gears, and he also has the instructions somewhere, and if I have it I'll post it. But the instructions allow you to take one of these standard timers and reduce the timing. So this is like I don't know, each one of those is like a minute, 30 seconds, somewhere between there. And this allows this to kind of cycle through, and then turn off the pumps, and then that way it kind of backfills, and then it comes back on and is cleared. It's cleared up. So then it just kind of turns on. So I just do that twice every cycle, twice just in case one of them gets accidentally pushed down. They're actually quite easy to push down. So yeah.